What is up, guys? Son Jetzu here, and today I wanted to go ahead make this video talking about the end times. And for this video, I wanted to focus on some of the things that were more negative about the end times, why people, people who follow Warhammer, why they seem to have a negative connotation or negative way of thinking about the end times, that they don't like it in particular, that they think it's the worst part of the Warhammer verse of Warhammer fantasy. And I just want to ask you guys in the comment section below, before I get into it, why don't you like the end times? Let me know in the comment section below, because this is going to kind of harken back to whether they're going to go this way in Total War Warhammer. Now, a couple of videos back, I made a video talking about the last game of Total War Warhammer, where it's going to be focused on the Chaos Gods. The way that the leaks would go, that's what would happen. And then another YouTuber of mine, a friend of mine, Indie Pride from Milk and Cookies, I'm gonna leave a link to his video in the comment section in the description below. He made a great video talking about how would they incorporate an end time sort of expansion, and he went really into detail with it, about 30 or so minutes long. I would highly recommend you guys checking that out also, because he's got a lot of great ideas and he's got a lot of great insight into this topic. So go ahead and check him out. And subscribe if you are not subscribed to him at all. Anyway, so I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about, what makes the end times, or what is the end times actually first. For those of you guys who don't know, a lot of you guys come from Total War and don't really know what the end times are, but you've heard people who are, from the Warhammer world saying that the end times is the worst thing. It's basically ludicrous. It's they don't talk about it. He who must not be named, all that. So what happened? So basically, the End Times is a series of novels created by the person that, or the person, the company that creates the majority of the Warhammer K novels that talk about basically the destruction of the Warhammer world and basically the ending of the Warhammer world. So a lot of the things that happen at the end of this are pretty significant, where huge swaths of the Warhammer world are completely destroyed. So let's just talk about a couple of things that happen in this. So basically, all these cities, for the majority, all the human cities anyway, are destroyed by Skaven or Chaos. For the most part, they're all gone, and only a few Imperial cities, Empire, are there. Even Altdorf's gone. So a few human cities remain. The island country nation of Ulthuan sinks into the depths of the ocean. We have the Dark Elves that are ravaged and ultimately almost destroyed by the demons and chaos. Then we have the elves themselves. I couldn't really find what happened with the Wood Elves. If you know that, go ahead and put in the comment section below. But I mean, knowing what happened with the High Elves and Dark Elves, that elves decide to band together in one force, in one fighting force, which in theory sounds interesting and cool. But that's one of the things that a lot of people in the Warhammer verse, from the Warhammer world, don't like, or think that it's kind of ludicrous that these factions that have hated each other for many years in our side, like 20 some years, and thousands of years in the actual Warhammer world, would band together at all. They probably would have just taken it in as a loss and decided to take it like a man and die. And then we have the Lizard Men, who are destroyed by meteorites that are warpstone meteorites. So I thought this one was probably the most interesting. It's actually probably one of the cooler ones in my opinion, because it's kind of like they're going the way of dinosaurs. It was very heavy-handed, but it's funny. That's the reason I like it a little bit. But so Lizardmen, there are only a few Lizardmen left. Nagash is awoken, and he destroys and attacks the Tomb Kings, destroying the magic that keeps them going for the most part. Then we have the orcs, who are getting attacked or about to get attacked by migrating ogres who are displaced from their home. Kislev is destroyed by chaos, and then we have earthquakes and destruction for all the Karaks and for the majority of Karax and the Dwarven homes and the Dwarven mountains. So the dwarves are displaced people, they're migrants, and they're leaving their homes in droves. So things like that are kind of what we see going on with the end times, as well as the chaos gods coming down and casting war and trying to destroy the world, which a lot of people don't like because it goes against what a lot of the chaos gods really, really want out of the world. So those are kind of some of the events that happen in the end times that I can come up with right now. If there's any more, let me know in the comment section below. Let's fill this up so people can get learned. But those are the reasons. So why has this had so much of a stigma? From what I've understood, from what I've researched into it, a big part of it is that from what I saw, I could be wrong, but the sales for Warhammer Fantasy were doing poorly. The sales for Warhammer 40k were doing good. So they decided to go ahead and take the resources from Warhammer Fantasy, and pull everything out of that IP, that license, and then push it into something new, which is the Age of Sigmar, which essentially is sort of like kind of like a Warhammer 40k fantasy version, split version, like some type of evil concocted fusion. And so that's basically the reason that it's got such a negative stigma, because corporate greed and corporate interests came first to destroy the Warhammer world. And a lot of stories that a lot of people who've been following this shit for years, for decades, say that a lot of these stories don't make any sense. They seem like they're hashed together really poorly, and a lot of things that happen are ludicrous, like going back to those elves banding together type of thing. So that's the reason it has such a negative stigma, because of that. And then we have the Age of Sigmar, which I do want to make another video on, different video on the Age of Sigmar, because I find it very, very interesting. This is one part where I would originally say, if like I was into Warhammer back then, I'd be like, you know what, that sounds like a good idea if they wanted to go ahead and revamp it. I don't know about destroying the original Warhammer Fantasy to do it, but they have resources and budgets and stuff like that. But I wouldn't have destroyed the original Warhammer Fantasy. I would have just made something new with the Age of Sigmar. But I mean, it's always cool to revamp. It's normally cool to revamp something after many, many years of having the same thing. So I thought it would be very, very interesting, if that were the case. If I was there watching it, I would think that'd be interesting way to go. But ultimately, from some of the stuff that I heard, I'm not going to go into it too much into detail right now, but the Age of Sigmar isn't that good. So that's another area of contempt. So what does that mean for Total War Warhammer? Well, what that means is that more than likely we will be getting the end times at the end of the series, because if the leaks are correct, if they keep going in the same progression, the same way that they have been going, that means that the end times is when I was talking about the Chaos Gods coming back and how they were implemented in the last video and like a couple videos ago. Another possible scenario is that this is going to be the end times, and they're going to send so much shit at you. So if you're playing as the Empire, you're going to be attacked by waves of Skaven, waves of chaos, cities destroyed. Maybe they'll give you Ulthuan for one expansion. The third expansion, they'll fucking sink that bitch. They'll go ahead and maybe you can turn it off, if on and off or whatever. But maybe at some point you'll have to stop it from sinking. I don't know what way that might do it. As the Dark Elves are gonna fight off the demons. What else? As Lizardmen, you'd have to survive or endure, huge meteorites coming down, stuff of that nature. Nagash coming back, which would be a cool way to, to get him into the game, I guess, But again, you'd have to destroy the actual world itself. So it could be the most ambitious third late game act of destruction that Creative Assembly has been doing with Total War games for a while now. Since Realm Divide and Shogun 2, there's always that third act, big bad thing that's supposed to happen, end game shit. And so this could be the most ambitious end game shit that we've ever seen. But at the same time, it could be, you know, it could be shit. It could just mean the end of this. And well, what are we gonna get? Age of Sigmar after that for the Total War Warhammer, the continuation. I don't know. I doubt it. I think that would be probably the end. But hopefully they do it good. Hopefully they do it justice. But again, there's so much hate for this end time stuff. Anyway, guys, that's my video. Leave me a comment in the comment section below, telling me about the end times, what you guys think of it, all that, you know, how they would incorporate into the game, stuff like that. Will we ever see Age of Sigmar in the game? I don't think so. Drop me a like if you like my video, and as always, hit the subscribe button if you like what you see. Thank you so much, guys. This is gonna be Jetzu signing off.